Alright folks, we are back with more of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. There's been some updates over the last couple of days. Sorry I was not in on Friday. I was just kind of dead tired throughout most of the day. Probably because my sleep schedule got a little messed up. I'll talk about that in a second. I turn the TV a little here. I realized my viewing angle was horrible. You stopped playing? That's alright. I mean, listen, you've played the original Gen 4 games, and you've said before... you said before that you don't like Sinnoh, and they made these remakes a little too straightforwardly, so... I can't necessarily say that I blame you. If you didn't like them before, this is not going to really convince a lot of people, I don't think. I, on the other hand, will play even a bad Pokemon game. I have tried so many times to, like, actually stream a whole series of Pokemon Uranium without taking, like, a month break in between from just having horrible sleep. Before we carry on, I'd like to show off real quick that I've changed my team up a little bit. You can see that we have dumped Carnivine, and there was somebody else that we removed from the team that I forget who it was now. Oh yeah, it was Rhydon, excuse me. So I realized, hey, I can go into the underground, I can go pick up Ralts, and we can have Gardevoir then, and that'll give us a nice set of special attacks, and it'll give us a couple of types that I feel like we've been lacking for most of the game. Because not being able to just turn Croagunk into paste from hitting quad weaknesses feels a little bit silly. I felt like something was a little wrong there. But on the way, I found that in a couple of the areas, most notably the smaller sand caves, Gible is, like, super common in the underground, as opposed to in the main world where you have to find them only in the basement of Wayward Cave. So I picked that up, and I'm like, okay, Rhydon, you're getting benched, because Garchomp is actually quite good. I don't use it very often in-game, but Garchomp is very good. And yeah, Gastrodon is pretty silly, too. However, I feel like sticking it out with Empoleon for now. Just for... well, we've used it for that long. And yeah. I guess it's nice of them to make Gible more accessible, because, of course, in Platinum, you could get Gible from, like, the 3rd gym, pretty much. Because of how they remapped Wayward Cave. And that was really nice, because then you didn't have to go through the uphill battle of getting it to level something real high to actually turn into Garchomp, which is level 48, and, you know, it can raise with the rest of your team and everything. So, one other thing that I did notice that makes me a little bit sad is that Garchomp doesn't learn Earthquake by level. I had to go all the way through Wayward Cave, which is not much of an all the way, really. It's a fairly short path through the basement to get to the TM26 and feed that to Garchomp in order to teach it Earthquake. Otherwise, its best ground-type move by damage is Dig. Thanks a lot, guys. That is something that I believe is carried over from Sword and Shield. So hey, let's not pretend that Sword and Shield are perfect games. Like, I guess if that's how you're going to rebalance your best Pokemon in the game, well, okay, that's on you. But I don't think it's very good. I originally had intended, by the way, to come in here with every Pokemon level ground to level 60 out of my party. And I didn't actually get around to doing that, as you can see. Garchomp is still at 59, and Gardevoir is at, like, 58 or something. Actually, I think Houndoom is still at 59 as well, but should be getting to 60 pretty soon. Houndoom tends to level up a little bit faster than Garchomp anyway. Yeah, most of the Pokemon community think that Sword and Shield are not super great. I find them a little bit hard to analyze, and will say that a large amount of my disappointment with Sword and Shield comes mostly from the rather sleep-inducing handling of the DLC. Yeah, there we go. Level 60 Houndoom. Wants to learn Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot is a pretty great move, but also Nasty Plot, well, right now, not even just the fact that our move pool is leaning mostly special. That'll be fixed sooner rather than later, I believe, because Houndoom has another issue similar to what Garchomp had, in that I have Crunch right now. Houndoom can't learn Dark Pulse by level. And, you know, Thunderfang is just for coverage. Taunt has a particular use that I think it's actually good at, that I'm going to keep it for against the Elite Four. And it's very specifically because Lucian's Mr. Mime will throw down a wall, and it carries Light Clay. So I don't want to deal with, you know, 7 extra turns of that fight being even slower. So it's a minor fix, and I probably would not do too much Nasty Plot setup sweeping, just because my experience with the Elite Four involved a lot of switching. So I guess we'll see how that pans out when we get there, and if it turns out, oh hey, you should have just kept Nasty Plot, well, I'll feel like an idiot. I think we already checked all the... Right, we were going to go find that other Onyx and remove that thing for experience. So top order of Gen 5 to 7. I think mine is something like that, although I'd probably say more 5, 7, 2, actually. Mostly because, as great as Gen 2 is, there is the issue that I feel that there's not much forward progress inside of the Kanto region up until you hit when you fight Blue. And so a lot of that feels a little bit more drawn out than it needs to be, considering how it's designed. Let's get out of the underground now, and let's go work on heading to Sunny Shore City. We're at pretty good levels right now, and we should not have too much difficulty getting everybody leveled up a little further. Gen 7 is very, very good, and I enjoy, like, all the games overall, a nice chunk. Well, okay, I haven't played the Let's Go games, but I'm sure that they are inside of the parameters. I'm sure they're good. We'll put it that way. And the problem that I have with Gen 7 is one that tends to fall by the wayside, which is regarding plot. And this is where I would say that Gen 5 is very much the full package. Whereas with Gen 7, when it came to Ultra Sun and Moon, they kind of got a little bit weenie-ish about certain aspects, i.e. I kind of hate that they softened up Lucamine as much as they did, and they did it very badly, is my opinion there. And, you know, you don't usually come to Pokemon games for that level of in-depth writing, but honestly, I'm just saying, if it's gonna be there, they at least can do it well. What am I stuck on? Oh no, it's just the little bit of forelag from that first grass encounter of the session. Oh yeah, the Rainbow Rocket stuff is... Overall, I like the Rainbow Rocket storyline. And they did quite a bit with bringing back all of the, all the old school villains, doing stuff with basically trying to work out the whole parallel universes thing, which has basically been dropped, which is kind of sad because they really were getting somewhere with that. And then they were just like, oh yeah, by the way, Sword and Shield, by the way, the Pokemon League actually is a sport, and we're, everybody has sponsor stickers on their butts, just like it would be in real life. Oh, and now we're gonna just remake Diamond and Pearl in a very straightforward way, and actually we offloaded it to another company. That said, I'm hoping that Legends Arceus is pretty good. It looks like it has some potential. Yeah, Ghetsis is a big standout, and they did the character idea right, I think. That, like, it just... I mostly say that because also there is an issue that a lot of times it feels like Pokemon villains, in terms of how they are approached in certain ways, like basically that the broad strokes have been repeated for each other, for ever since Ghetsis, basically, what I'm trying to say... I need to actually get my words together here. But ever since Ghetsis, it feels like all of the older Pokemon villains have been repeated. And by older, I mean, not counting Team Rocket, apparently, have had basically repeated versions in the broader strokes in later Pokemon games. For example, I would say that Lysander is kind of trying to be a less interesting version of Cyrus. I don't know if that is necessarily the intent, but like, it feels like Lysander is trying to basically do that, except, oh, he's, except we decide to make him not be Ansem for once, basically. Instead, he's just a raving lunatic. And then in some ways, Lucamine is kind of a repetition of Ghetsis, but missing at least a few little bits here and there. I mean, she doesn't actually try to hurt anybody on screen in a physical way, so there's that. Right up until Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where they were just like, oh no, she just gets obsessed easily. And, I don't want to be too much of that person, but on the other hand, it really is like, oh yeah, Lucamine isn't an abusive mother, she's just autistic. And that really just comes down to bad writing. Let's call a spade here. Gen 7, there's a reason why that sort of thing went downhill for me, is what I said. And with Gen 8, Chairman Rose, who really is just sort of he's as close to a villain as you get, because he is the final guy. Honestly, I am of the opinion that he is almost parody level trying to be Maxie and Archie. Like, it's the same idea of, oh, he's an idiot who starts meddling with the power of the gods in order to solve a completely fake non-issue. Like, it is very explicitly explained multiple times throughout the game that what Chairman Rose is trying to do in order to, quote-unquote, solve Galar's energy crisis is being done hundreds, possibly even thousands, I don't remember the script that well, of years early. And as I said in that review, I think that it ends up, if this is not the intent, then it certainly is a way that it comes across, that it's like, it's trying to say that nuclear power is bad. But of course, that's because it's a Japanese franchise up to a point, so, you know, that'll leak through is like, if you're going to assume anything of it. There you go. As far as Cyrus being, like, not a great Pokemon villain goes, to be honest, I think that he is not exactly well written in a certain specific way of just being, like, really annoying in a... That's not helpful. But, like, just the pompous is kind of what you said about... Or, well, you said pretentious, but... In this case, basically this idea where he's like, oh, well, I don't need to capture Pokemon. Oh, I don't need emotions. And it's like, dude, you are a budget Kingdom Hearts villain as a result of this. And I know that I've said that, you know, again, I'm repeating a joke from my own video, and two, I'm repeating a joke from earlier in the stream. Yeah, he's a boo barrel. I mean, he's definitely pale enough for it. And ultimately, I think maybe Cyrus actually was kind of a knockoff of Archie and Maxie in his own way, but they were trying to be like a little bit more hardcore for the slightly advanced age of the fan base until they kind of decided, well, you know, we can do one or the other. We're going to end up accidentally creating, you know, somebody who belongs in something from a completely different company, or we can try to approach this franchise as still being, you know, what it is to begin with, and using maybe E-rated versions of existing ideas for our villains. And that's why Getsus ended up being so different. And the amount of, like, the fact that really a large part of the plot behind Black and White 1 is basically set up as kind of a lie. Because it's like, oh hey, N is your issue the whole time, and he's who you're dealing with, except it's because Getsus is literally using him as a... Well, I'm about to say literally and metaphorically inside of the same sentence, so I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but Getsus is using him as a shield, is the point. A brooding fuck who didn't want to form the band Stained. Ouch. Wow. And yeah, an insult to budgets. You have got a bit of a point there. But I mean, Fury, that's why I keep making the Kingdom Hearts joke over and over, is not just because, oh, it's really easy and vulnerable. And I mean, I had fun with Kingdom Hearts last time I played it, so I'm only dropping the hammer a little bit. But, you know, that basically is not too dissimilar of a thing. And I think that part of it is just because that's where things were in the... That would have been like mid-2000s, right? 2006 when the original versions of these games came out. I feel like I should probably remember that, and yet here we are. It would be voiced by Aaron Lewis. Something like that actually sounds reasonable. And yeah, Lear's good to hear that your machine hasn't exploded yet. That is some good times. I'll catch up to that later tonight. I did some stuff on Endwalker earlier today, and I don't feel like even attempting to brave the queues later tonight. I'm sure they're going to be like, back up to the 3000s or something for at least a little bit. Then again, it's a Sunday night. Maybe that won't prove true? Still, I got some work done earlier today. Whatever. But yeah, the original versions of these games coming out in the mid-2000s, later part of the mid-2000s, is a little bit on the... You know, it was sort of the cultural zeitgeist at the time, and they leaned into it maybe a little too much without actually making it fit terribly well. I would overall just say that Cyrus does not jive with the franchise in a very specific way. And I mean, as a result, that kind of means that Lysander doesn't either, because, as we said before, Lysander is kind of trying to do the same thing. And yeah, there are so many Gyarados. I mean, we just fought like 5 on that coastline there. Wanted to end the world because Bush was still in power. I mean, there's some argument to be made that part of our media became like that for that reason. But that's a whole story that I don't really know a whole lot about what people say to reach that approach, just that I know that it's a thing people say. A couple people, anyway. And, you know, fair enough. Is there anything to... Is there any reason to smash this rock? Is there, like, an item sitting under this rock? Because otherwise we can literally just go around this rock. No, I don't suppose there is. Although if I was using the regular bike gear, that would be easier for me to find out. This guy just wants large fish. This goes to a grass patch, which is likely hiding an item. And there's a little surf area over here. Does this just lead to another grass patch? Well, there might be something over here. And as such, we're going to mash the A button a little bit here. There we go. We found a big mushroom, and it's not in one of the super obvious places, so alright then. Yeah, I just wasn't sure where it was. I mean, I could probably be using the item finder app, but nah. Yeah, it's a little more trouble than it's worth. It is definitely not... It's not the Gen 6 item finder. We'll put it that way. The item finder in... The item finder in X and Y, you know, that did the job pretty well. So... Now we've got the other part of the route. You can see that this whole thing was just a diversion. And this is one other thing that I think maybe makes this game a little bit long. Sometimes it's just the amount of doing stuff like this. Like, oh hey, here's this thing that's in plain sight that's like over a 1 pixel wall. Oh, you gotta go all the way back to the start of the area to get there. But maybe there's only a couple trainers and this won't take too long to get back to Sunny Shore, which we were almost at. And of course, we're massively over-leveled for this area, but I did want to have a decent chunk of levels going for once we get towards Victory Road in the Elite Four, which if we're going to try and wrap the game today, that would be important. Although I do wish that at the point that I was at, there was a better EXP grind that was more reliable than just dealing with Gravelers. Because, you know, everybody's favorite way of leveling up is just headbutting bombs over and over and over again, and hoping that they don't have the thing that prevents them from dying, letting them sneak in an explosion, or an earthquake, or a rock blast. Use the psychic spot. Is the EXP gain over there pretty good? Because admittedly, I was not 100% sure how a lot of the other Pokemon that weren't Graveler were. You know, the stuff that was not part of 3-stage lines. Because then again, I guess there's Kadabras and stuff that show up there. Girafarig is probably worth a decent chunk. I mean, I killed a couple of Scythers, Absols. A relatively few Onyxes, but Onyx, well, Onyx is a bit of a joke. This dude is going to give us some TMs for Fling, which is not really going to be a move that we use at any point. I mean, we have a couple of Iron Balls, so if we were feeling a little bit silly, we could just, you know, hurl an Iron Ball after taking a slow turn, I guess. But I don't think that's going to be super necessary of a thing for dealing damage. We should be fine through some portion of the Elite Four at least. And then we're going to get to Cynthia, and it's just going to be like, oh, by the way, this is kind of where the level grading does go out the window. Yeah, true. The one at Celestic Town, I think, is like the big psychic cave and an ice spot, and yeah, and then a smaller psychic spot. That would probably be pretty good. I didn't give the psychic areas a whole lot of credit, but the ice areas, well, honestly, I didn't think that the ice area EXP was too good, because most of what I tended to see in there were Snover and Bronzor. And those are not exactly gonna be your best way of getting EXP. There might be some stuff in there that's a little better. Like, probably Sneasel has a chance to spawn, which is probably worth at least a little bit. But yeah. Wobbuffet would be an issue, because Wobbuffet would be very hard to one-shot. And no matter what you've got out in front, you know, even if you're bringing out your Dark and Ghost moves, you're still sitting there probably flipping a coin for it to possibly throw out either Counter or Mirror Coat at you. And neither is exactly fun, for reasons that we know quite well. Remember when they decided to make Wobbuffet a little more of an issue, and then they did not program in a fix for dealing with the stalemate until, I think, Gen 4? So here's one issue that our team is running into that I wish I had an immediate fix for, but is probably just going to come down to just breaking this thing with my hardest moves. Is that we don't have a grass-type attack on here. Because I do not offhand know where the Energy Ball TM is, other than getting it from traders in the underground. And I saw one dude selling one over the past couple of days, I just did not have enough things for it, so I couldn't get it. Is that it? It's just in... okay. Yeah, I didn't run into... My dogs are freaking out in the other room. They are a little noisy. Basically, good luck. Oh, yeah, great. Alright. A quick look, there's one on Route 226. That's post-game, is it? Yeah, that's post-game. So yeah, if we want Energy Ball, which I believe that Houndoom can learn Energy Ball from TM. But if we want that, that is literally just going to have to come down to luck. That's just a tree. Oh no, Houndoom can't get Energy Ball from TM. Never mind. However, I do have a couple of Pokemon that can learn Energy Ball. I guess I could see if anybody can learn Grass Knot. And yeah, Flint wants us to go fight Volkner because he's super bored. Again, sitting in... we're sitting in this weird place with this game of... Actually, what is the... I've said this before, and now my ability to word it out is kind of dropping, but it's like this idea of... Regarding the Pokemon gyms, just what's the deal with them? Is the Pokemon League this established thing that is in some way like entrenched in society, or is it antagonistic in some way? I mean, certainly it's not to the level that it was at in Red and Blue, where some of those people really wanted to absolutely wreck you, but yeah. Anyone here have anything for us? I don't think so. One kid can count our gym badges, I guess. Amazing. So in order to open up the gym, because it is blocked to us otherwise, we have to go... I think we just have to go straight to the lighthouse and talk to Volkner and be like, hey, yeah, let's fight. And he'll be like, okay. Hey, a Thunderstone. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure that Garchomp is not going to have too big of an issue with any real part of this gym. Alright. There he is. Yeah, see, here we go. Is that... What's the deal? He's going to go challenge the Pokemon League after becoming, if this gym battle isn't his thing, so... Are the Pokemon League and the gym system, like, separate in some way? Wow, who knew that the plot in this game wasn't very coherent? This is why people don't think very highly of Pokemon game writing, you know? Which, as I said before, they could They can do a lot better with this. It's unfortunate. If they're gonna have this level of depth for plot, they should at least make sure that it's good, right? At least that's how I feel about it. We're taking a quick look through our TMs. Oh, I said we're taking a quick look through our TMs here. And seeing if we got anything really useful that I'm not using here. Nobody can learn low sleep. That's unfortunate. That'd be an easy fighting type move to throw on somebody. Drain Punch, I'm assuming, is also going to be off limits to us still, because we don't have any fighting type moves. Which could be slightly irritating for certain Pokemon. Because again, it's like, hey, you just got to go break through every normal type. Yeah, we can't use Drain Punch. Oh, crap. Yeah, I mean, that's why I say if they're going to have it, they should at least be good at it. I'm not sure that it's necessary to have any sort of in-depth plot, but if you can't really do anything good with it, please don't embarrass yourself. Empoleon can learn Grass Knot, by the way. That's neat. Oh, what? Infernape can't get Drain Punch? That's garbage. That is trash garbage. I don't think I ever tried either, which is a little weird for me, because I was just like, okay, I'm gonna save these Drain Punch TMs. They might be useful, even though you get 5 of them. But the fact that TMs are back to being single use has me a little cagier about them. So that's really good design there. Not Game Freak this time, I can't say that. But, you know, I held Power Up Punch and Close Combat for a little bit until I eventually dumped Power Up Punch for a coverage move. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, Power Up Punch is really good for a good period of time. And Close Combat is really strong. Mach Punch is a really good move. But why not Drain Punch, right? You got all these other good options, so why not? Why not one more, I guess? Was that just too good for it or something? I don't know. So this gym, we might end up taking a little bit here of goofing around just because I'm not super great at this puzzle. Yeah, see, we just got to reset this. And now we go over here. That's a lot simpler than I thought it was. I'm already psyching myself out like, oh, this is going to be a pain in the butt, and that makes me overcomplicate things. Oh, look, a squirrel. We might be able to just Dragon Claw this thing to death. I mean, we're level 60. We should be able to at least do that to Pachirisu, of all things. Pachirisu is not a huge tank. Might have some defensive stats to it, but taking that, not so much in the cards. So, this is where things already get a little bit weird. This dude looks a lot more bored than I think they meant him to. Just want to put that out there real quick. Level 64 for Crobat. Only need another 5 levels in order to get Leech Life, which is Crobat's last level up move, and a pretty good one at that. But we will see that possibly later on. Okay, so this side gears should be turned over. Well, unfortunately, kid, they're probably only going to teach you how to use one type of Pokemon, because that's how most of these gyms work. Oh no, this dude has a Mr. Mime. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for this electric gym. But then again, as I said before, with the last couple of gyms, at this point, we're sort of reaching the gym type labels don't matter as much territory. Which was, we don't want to learn Zap Cannon. We ditched Lock On, so that's not going to be super useful. Like, Candlelive had it really bad because everybody just had unevolved Onyxes. And there were a couple of things like a Skorupi and an Azumarill, and yeah, they all had Iron Tail, but that's about it. And Candace's gym, well, there were a lot of water types among the regular Pokemon, but Candace herself was missing out on one ice type from her 4 side Monday Night Crawfish. Nice. And yeah, I assume the rematches are a little better about the type matchups, but by that point, they are opening things up to Pokemon that aren't in the Sinnoh Pokedex. Because, well, of course. I really wish that they had just, like, redone pretty much everything for this in terms of these things. Nice. Oh, we got paralyzed. Dang it. Oh well. That's only slightly irritating. I believe that this entire game is, like, made in Unity or something. And some people have said that it's not hard to, like, mess with stuff with it if you tried to. So I would find it fun to just go through and be like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna reshuffle around these teams. Although, on the other hand, I'm saying that, like, hey, I have not actually started doing any work on any sort of prospective projects with Pokemon that I may or may not be doing in terms of, like, any of the actual coding stuff. Alright, so we're keeping out our, yeah, just 4 Pikachus. And this is everybody's favorite type of trainer. On the other hand, not a single one of these Pikachus did anything of use to us. One of them used agility, one set up light screen against our physical attacker. I don't know if Pikachu can get Reflect or not, but, I mean, come on, that's a bit of a waste. Granted, it's a Pikachu, so I don't imagine it has enough move-type variety to really come up with something ridiculous for us. Last time down there, oh yeah, Carbos. We probably got, like, one berry type here that we haven't seen before. Yeah, a Quallot berry. We have a paralyzed heal in here. Now we don't have to use our fools. You're really enjoying all of the ridiculous puns that you're getting in there, huh? I'm not surprised, but also... Oh, hey, this thing is slightly more of a threat than Pikachu, in theory. Unfortunately, that's going to just have to remain a theory, because... well, it did 8 damage to us. You know what? Pat on the back for this Raichu. It's trying. It's making an effort, which is more than I can say about those last 4 Pikachu. What I was going to say is that I'm pretty sure Raichu has the stats of a Pokemon that's, well, Stage 2, because it was intended to have an evolution, which never got finished. Yu-Gi-Oh! I do enjoy a bit of... I probably should play one of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games at some point on stream if people would be interested in that. This Kadabra should just go down immediately to a crunch. We shouldn't have to worry about any speed issues here. Raichu. Yep. Yet another Raichu. Although this one has the tip of the tail blunted because that's the side of the... yeah, that's how much of a gender difference they added with them. But at least some of them are... you know, I enjoy the subtle difference there as opposed to a ridiculous one like some of them. Oh boy, that Intimidate is going to be really annoying when this dude has, like, only 2 Pokemon. I was about to say only 1 Pokemon, but not quite. That's okay. I'm sure it'll be figured out eventually, you know? Takes a while to get all that stuff together. Sending out a Bibarel. So we're going to handle that using... we'll let Gardevoir get the most EXP out of this because we are in a position where we could certainly stand to do that. Oh, that was a real useful set of words. Like I said, we want to get our Pokemon all to level 60-ish before we leave this gym. Well, I guess to make up to where I wanted to be before I started the session. So maybe that's not super necessary, but... yeah, trying to get everybody into the upper 60s for the Elite Four and Champion is a good idea as well. So we just turn this one back? Yeah, okay. Those gears are flattened out, so we should now have this circuit ready. I feel like the last stage of this puzzle is actually really complicated. I just can't remember what you gotta do. We'll see when we get there. Oh, hey, look, a Steelix. Showing up 2 gyms late. So this is where they've been keeping all you fuckers. Huh? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And Earthquake should clean this up pretty quick. Yep, I was about to say no sturdy, but no, there's just enough HP in this thing's tank to get that there. They've got a lot going there. So what's that, like, probably at least 80 you've got together? Total? I wouldn't know how to place it. Alright, Medicham. What is a good way to deal with... Shadow Ball should handle it. Shadow Ball and... over 100. Ooh, wow. You've been doing a lot of work with that. Shadow Ball or Moonblast would work pretty good against Medicham. But I think we're going to save the Moonblasts because there aren't really a... You know, just in case we happen to need them. And Shadow Ball is good enough, as you can tell. Again, 15 level advantage. I don't have to apportion this stuff out that well. Alright. Okay, so is it just turn that around and go back through after we... Yeah. Just U-turn that and there we go. Hey, Lethal, how's it going? A lot of unique people dropping in so far today. And here we are fighting against Boardman, who I think leads off with Raichu or something. And Luxray is his ace, right? Yeah, sends out Raichu. Nice, glad to hear him. Yeah, so he's got Raichu. He's got his other two Pokemon, I believe, are Ambipom and Octillery. And also, that's a fast Raichu. I'm kind of surprised by that. And as I said before, our last Pokemon is Luxray. Because I guess Volkner being seen with Pachirisu, he's afraid he wouldn't seem cool. Is it fast Raichu? I'm impressed. Kinda. Octillery. So we are kind of risking this thing pulling out Ice Beam. On the other hand, it's Octillery. It's slow as shit last time I checked. And it's also oh, it survived. It only has Aurora Beam, huh? Aurora Borealis. Huh? Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis! Etc., etc. We will switch out against Ambipom just to try and get something that hits a little bit harder, because I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get a one-hit kill on that Octillery. Localized entirely inside your Garchomp, yeah. And somehow it lived. If that was Ice Beam, we'd be toast. But as it stands, oh yeah, 13 damage on that, huh? It's the wimpiest fucking Thunderbolt I've ever seen, though. Tell you what. I tell you what, Bobby. So it's literally... So basically what you're saying, Irene, is it's literally a bugbear. I can appreciate that. Alright. We are going to have at least 10 levels on this Luxray. Yeah, we got 12 levels on it. And Luxray is pretty slow for an electric type. If this thing outspeeds us, that's fucked. I mean, we have a neutral nature for Garchomp, so... I was going to say it's possible that we don't get the speed boost, but not super likely. I'm surprised that the Raichu was more of a concern than his own ace. His team was front-loaded there for some reason. Which is an old concept that I had for a fight with a Dark-type gym leader, where they just send out their main Pokemon first, and they just try and absolutely wipe your ass off the map. And by old, I mean this is a concept that I've had kicking around for a thing that goes back to before Sun and Moon came out. I actually still am carrying over to this potential future project that I want to continue to refer to as a potential thing. Hopefully to, you know, get certain people off my back who might be upset about the prospect because of copyright reasons, and B, because I have a very bad track record for actually finishing shit. I had a couple of things that ended up somehow showing up in Sun and Moon. Like, I'd come up with an electric rock type that was, well, based on magnetic rocks, and then it turns out that they used a very similar concept for the Alola version of Geodude. Which, yeah, I was like, hey, that's neat. I think they did better with it than I would have, but, Anyway, let's stop talking about that. Because who knows if it's going to be a real thing. And we got Charge Beam TMs, which, you know, Charge Beam is not a super useful move at this point in the game. It'd be great back, you know, if you're in the Pokemon school and you've got a level 6 Abra, but right now, they're, a little... As it stands, it's a level 50, it's a 50 power move that has a coin flip chance of boosting your special attack. And like 10 PP. It's not much to be too concerned with. Oh, hi, Jasmine. You're from a game that hasn't existed for, like, over 10 years in a way that people can purchase it, you know, outside of secondhand. Actually, wait, no, they did release Gold and Silver and Crystal on Virtual Console. Also, here she's like 80 times more timid, if I recall correctly. Granted, I have not played GSC in a while, but she's just like stammering and stuttering. Maybe it's because she has no authority in this particular territory. Hooray, we learned Waterfall. Which is not going to be a super useful thing for us to feed as a TM to any of our Pokemon. I don't think anything can learn it. Not in our party, anyway. Hey, I didn't want to favorite Rock Climb. What do I look like? My number. All right. Yeah, so literally only Empoleon out of our current party member, out of our current party, can learn that. And it really is that what it's supposed to be? I would never have guessed. Then again, it just kind of looks like it kind of looks like, although obviously the colors are wrong, it looks like, do you remember the old Crash Bandicoot TV commercials where they had the dude in the suit just walking around town and, you know, basically sassing at people? Kind of looks a little bit like that, Maybe with more Sonic-y spikes. So, like, mentally, I just have kind of that image of it. Anyway, we're going to teach Empoleon to use Grass Knot in exchange of getting rid of Drill Peck. We're going to go all special, all the time with Empoleon. No more mixed attacking for us. Houndoom is going to remain our one and only real mixed attacker on the team once we get the Dark Pulse TM in Victory Road. Of course, we're on a water route, so we can put other Pokemon at the front of our party for now, and we're going to put Gardevoir up front in order to get Gardevoir towards level, like, 65 or so would be a good start. And the rest of our party can gain levels as they go. And then once we hit Victory Road, we're going to want Empoleon up at the front because it can deal with everything. Lumineon looks like it's paying about as much attention to the rest of the world as the rest of the world pays to it. So, you're gonna get roasted, Lumineon. You don't have stats, really. Doesn't have stats, doesn't have moves. The only ones it has offhand, it's got Silver Wind. Lumineon is like, oh, they tried to make a Pokemon with a bit of a design gimmick, and then they forgot to actually finalize it. And it wasn't much of one to begin with. So this thing is normal fairy, I believe. Or maybe just fairy type. Oh no, it's normal fairy. So we're gonna... we should be able to eliminate it with Psychic fairly easily. Unfortunately, it is worth nothing EXP-wise. This should be worth a little more, but it still might not be super amazing. Actually, that's really good. 1938 for the kind of level advantage we had and the Lucky Egg. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Otherwise, Azurill is just there to kind of be like, hey, yeah, we went a little hog wild with this mechanic in the earlier generations. And now we gotta give them to trainers because in Diamond and Pearl, you could collect scene entries for every single Pokemon in the main Sinnoh Pokedex. And I believe that's how you unlocked the National Dex. Excuse me. Like, I believe it was quite possible to do that without trading or anything. I know you could find information on the legendaries, which actually did give you a Pokedex page for them, which is pretty rare. Should be able to eliminate this Tentacruel using Thunderbolt. Although level 35 in the wild is pretty low. The levels are going to get a little bit better once we hit Victory Road. Ah, yes, I'm real glad I came all the way out here for that. At TM18. Thanks a lot, game. I'm so glad you hit that all the way over here. Something I'm totally going to use in-game, right? I feel like that kind of stuff is what game corner game corner prizes are better served by being a little bit where you put all the gimmicky crap. Excuse me. We're gonna try and catch this Mantike real quick. Just because we don't have one. Oh, it's not having it. Baby Mantine is unamused. I also feel like it's a little weird that we're getting Babby Pokemon in the wild in this instance. How do people feel, I guess, about that? About being able to find baby Pokemon in the wild. This is a thing that really started in this game, but eventually it took off a little more in Gen 7. I think it was a big thing in Gen 8 that you could find like Cleffa or something in the wild, probably. Because I'm a little bit torn on it, and I mean, I guess it eliminates the need to have to go through the steps of breeding and everything. But also, I'd rather just get the regular Pokemon if I'm catching stuff from the wild. Maybe that's just me. Alright, well, at least this is another Pelipper, so it should be worth some actual EXP. Yeah, level 43. That should be worth a decent chunk. And here's this dude with a Mantike. Again, what's this thing gonna be? Level, like, almost 50 or so? 38, wow. Then again, I believe you can go over this way pretty much all the way to almost Victory Road. There's just a waterfall on the way. So having these dudes at mediocre levels is not super surprising. Rip Remoraid. And, here we go. Here's an actual Mantine. I like that they don't have Remoraids in the model anymore. Whereas in the original game, they actually had them on the sprites in Gold and Silver. Actually, I want to see what all games that was a thing in, and when they stopped doing it. Looks like they stopped doing it in Diamond and Pearl, where they actually had Remoraid attached on the graphic. Neat. This Tentacruel should be worth a reasonable chunk of EXP. Come on, buddy. Yeah, that's pretty good. Magnezone to 65. Nice. Level 44 Pelipper. I think that's the highest level wild Pokemon we've seen out here yet. So that should, in theory, be worth the most experience. That might be about to be disappointing. That's pretty good. That's enough anyway, that's for sure. Alright, we'll take a double battle here just to break things up a little bit. We had some pretty unimpressive looking Pokemon on their side. They have, yeah, they have more slots, so things can get a little better there for us pretty soon. Shadow Ball should be enough to get rid of Meryl. Meryl! Meanwhile, Houndoom can Thunderfang this Wingull into tiny little bits. Yep, I was waiting to get 5%'d, but no such unluck today. And Shadow Ball should end that thing's entire career. Yep. Meryl doesn't exactly have impressive stats, that's for sure. Quagsire. Oh, that's a bit of a level jump there. Wow. Up to level 42, huh? I think we can do good damage with Moonblast, at least. But the question is, can we get rid of this Golduck in a single Thunderfang? And the answer appears to be yes. That's what we like to see. That 20 level advantage actually meaning something. And there goes Quagsire. It's silly looking. Wingull and Pelipper. Well, neither of these should last very long. But we're going to do things this way just to make absolutely sure of this. There we go. We got 5% missed. I could probably have killed it with Crunch. It's just a Wingull. Come on. Think this through, you nerd. The split you sold me is making me choke. Yeah, what a mediocre Water Blast. Or, Water Blast. Water Pulse there. Yeah, we could have just crunched that thing and would have been fine. Whoops. Empoleon not yet at 66. Oh well. Just want to do a quick bit of scouting if I can to see how long this place is still. I probably shouldn't even bother. I should just go do the trainer fight. There's at least one more trainer after this. And there's a little... Is that a little diversion? Can't tell if it's a side path or not. It looks like it, but it also doesn't look like it leads anywhere, so it may very well not be. Meanwhile, this Tentacruel is extremely dead. Come on, let's get a nice chunk of EXP. We should get like almost 2,000 from this. And not as much as I thought. I thought that there was an enemy trainer EXP boost, but apparently if it is, it's very, very small. We only got 1775 out of that. Pretty low level Pelipper, so it's not going to be worth a ton of EXP, but we'll take it anyway. The game is just giving it to us for free. I mean, why not? Yes, yeah, I see a side path over there. And another Tentacruel. Again, still free real estate. Okay, special defense is not enough to protect them from an over 20 level advantage. Who would have guessed? Yay! Empoleon hit level 66. Nice. Well, I mean, up to a point. Gardevoir is very strong on the special side, so there is definitely a little bit of that, but also we have this level of level advantage, so that's definitely swinging things in our favor quite a bit. And Wingull has been vaporized. And a Seaking. We will deal with the Seaking using Grass Knot just to make sure that we don't, you know, somehow run into Lightning Rod, which, again, I'm pretty sure that's an issue. A potential issue, rather. And I mean, sure, Seaking is still kind of not great, but still, just to be absolutely sure of things, right? Wait a sec, I don't need to change my party around. What am I thinking? To become a Seaking Missile. I mean, I guess. Not much of a missile because it's still coming off of Seaking stats, but I guess, you know, missile status really only implies that you're being launched. You're being launched. We've got a... Oh no, the left side is the side path here, I believe. And here's Gastrodon. Once again, we can take care of this with Grass Knot pretty easily. Switch Gardevoir back to the front. Nice. Oh, that was not really too worth it, but that's okay. We didn't really have to go very far out of our way, so I guess it doesn't have to be worth much. Let's try Shadow Balling this thing. Oh, we didn't quite manage to kill it. That's a shame. I just want a quick preview of the area. We got 3 trainers so far. Are we at the waterfall yet? I mean, this really is like probably one of the most questionable games since the first few to have this level of long water routes. Granted, saying that, you had the long surf routes in Gen 2, and I kind of dreaded those because you still had, like, no Pokemon variety in those waters whatsoever. And they were long, and honestly, when it comes to getting to Sandwood City, it's very easy, it feels like, to get lost. Well, yeah, but Gen 3, you at least had different areas to break things up. I don't think it changed Pokemon too much, but yeah, I guess you got lost in those a little bit too much. In short, it's been a tradition through the series that overstayed its welcome a little bit, and I'm glad that they curtailed it very heavily for Gen 5. To the point that the only real major surf routes in Gen 5 led to the Larvesta egg. And then in XY, I do not remember almost any mandatory surfing whatsoever in XY. While Sun and Moon were structured very differently. And there were a couple of water routes in Sword and Shield, but again, those games were just kind of built different, so it didn't become as big of an issue as fast. Alright, so let's just go back and start dealing with these trainers. I guess ultimately doing this scouting is not, the scouting is not terribly necessary, the scouting report. Ah, look, a Finneon. We should be able to just melt this thing in a single Shadow Ball. And this Pelipper is going to detonate right now. Here's swimmer number 3. And see what we can do against this dude. Single Pokemon. It's a Gyarados. I was hoping for a Tentacruel or something that we could kill with some other move, and yet... And yet... I enjoy the fact that the male swimmers just respond to being defeated by snapping themselves in the face with their own goggles. It is so delightfully stupid. Like, why would you even think to do that? Of all things... Oh, right. Well, here we are. We're at the end of the route, so we can go ahead and we can waterfall up. And there's a place for us to heal. That's okay, I'm sure there's a lot of... Well... Alright, so... We're healed, and it's time to enter Victory Road. One of the more complicated and easy to get lost in victory roads in the entire game. So let's put Empoleon up at the front. And in we go. Because Empoleon is going to be our wall buster for this entire area. And we are going to try and explore it reasonably thoroughly. If only for the purposes of making sure that we get that Dark Pulse TM. And also because this place is just kind of a mess. Oh, hi, Alan. Haven't seen that guy in a long, long time. Ice Beam should take care of Golbats, which is good. Or we could probably just hit a Golbat with anything and it would go down, because, eh. Here's another dude pretending to be psychic. Just like they usually do. Haunter, we'll flash cannon this because anything should do the trick, but, you know. Well, anything except for Grass Knot, really. Because, of course, Grass Knot calculates by weight. Hang on a second. I'm just making a slight adjustment to my chair here. Grass Knot calculates by weight. And, of course, Haunter doesn't weigh almost anything. It weighs 0.2 pounds. See, Gengar has a little bit of meat on its ghostly bones, but on the other hand, the other two, well, they weigh exactly as much as you'd expect a fart ghost to weigh. Alakazam is a slightly more fitting Pokemon for this Psychic Trainer to have, so we can deal with this using Houndoom instead. Bronch. Yeah, let's just obliterate Alakazam entirely. TM41, Torment. Yeah, that's what we're going to be going through as we go through this area, that's for sure. Look, it's Graveler. I've killed a bunch of this thing's family. I'm sure it's not going to be happy with me. Gonna pull out Grass Knot, because otherwise I'm sure it'll bust out Wide Guard and be like, ha ha ha. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the other option, is that it could have Sturdy and then it's just like, oh, by the way, explosion, boom. You're dead. I don't think it would kill me. I mean, it's just Graveler. Graveler's attack is kind of okay-ish, but that's about it. Meanwhile, Golbat can't have wide guard, so we can surf that thing away pretty easily. Up we go. Whoop. From a C-Bat, from a bat to a C-Bat, the only note it can hit is a C flat. Especially when it sees how its HP goes. This Noctowl should go down to a single Ice Beam quite easily. And this is our first time seeing Staraptor, oddly enough. Like, for some reason, these birds just disappeared from the lexicon for a very large part of the game. Which is weird, because Staraptor is usually considered to be, like, really good. That, and, you know, you'd expect there to be a little bit more blending of, rather than just like, oh hey, every trainer has a Gyarados. But, full heal, yay, that's one more we don't have to buy. Grass Knot, and let's wait for the Sturdian explosion. Yep, there's part 1. Part 2, yep. Kaboom! We're steel type, we should be okay. Bonk! Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot of anything. Excuse me. Goodness. Oh look, it's Onyx. More of these things, because they show up in like every cave. I believe you can find wild Steelix here. Them snacks, yep, pretty much. They are a slightly unimpressive species of Pokemon, that's for sure. Oh, it's using Dig. Okay, that is slightly annoying, but I know a quick fix for that. And that is just switching in Crobat and then biting it to death. Yeah, again, no bite. I don't think we learned Crunch at any point for some reason. They just don't let Crobat have that for some reason. It's too good for it, I guess. That's how they decided to nerf a bunch of good Pokemon, is by just failing to give them a decent move pool. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if part of it is because Crunch is a technical record in Sword and Shield, but of course, that hasn't translated over to this very well. I mean, I guess if I knew where I could get an X-Scissor TM offhand, that would be a nice freebie. Well, actually, wait, no, we get a Bug-type physical attack at the end of our... I'm dumb. Steel Wing is a potential replacement? Maybe? 70 power, but Steel is much less useful of a physical attack, well, than attacking type in general, really. I'm seriously just gonna take a quick look through this and through this learn set, and I'm gonna be very, very disappointed because it's kind of garbage. That's it. That's the trick to how they managed to, you know, make Crobat not be good in this game, is they didn't give it any good moves. I mean, Zen Headbutt is a technical record in Sword and Shield. That'd be nice, but no, we can't have that. Well, I'm pretty sure that it can learn X-Scissor, but there's no point in teaching it X-Scissor once you hit level 69, which is when it learns Leech Life. Crunch is a thing because there's no Crunch TM in this game. There's only a technical record in Sword and Shield. And for some reason, it doesn't gain it by level. And it's a nice big payload of EXP there. I probably could have pushed Gardevoir to 65 if I had put Gardevoir in to deal with that. Although instead, it would have taken a couple of turns because... Excuse me, Blissey and special defense. Blissey has a lot of special defense. And the Beaver Squad is going to help us out here. Oh, hey, look, a Medicham. This is an interesting thing to see in the wild here. I forget sometimes that they are also this recurring of a cave Pokemon. However, it shouldn't have any guarding moves anymore, so using Surf on a wild Medicham at level 46 should be fine. Yes, thank you for the free crit. That probably didn't matter because Medicham is a glass cannon. But hey, why not give it, you know, really show it what's what, right? Maybe a little bit, but I definitely think that there was a thing with some of the early generations where they tried to sneak in some really easy names, and Golem definitely fits that bill a little bit. Of being very, very simple. Plus, it fits in with a fairly basic RPG motif of being, well, a Golem-type enemy, because, I mean, pretty much every major RPG at that point had some sort of big stone giant enemy that was referred to as a Golem, although, you know, maybe saying that is not technically correct just by virtue of it being a pile of walking bricks. But hey, do you think Japan knows what Judaism is? Do you think Gary Gygax? I actually don't personally know a whole lot about Gary Gygax, so I actually can't say anything on that matter, really. But yeah, because, I mean, they clearly were, up to a point, certain things were designed to fit into certain molds. Most notably, Voltorb and Electrode are clearly intended to be Mimic-type enemies, just not named as such. So I guess that it would follow, in a sense, that they were like, hey, we need to have a Golem, and we're just going to name it Golem. And then they made it so that way you could only get it by trades. For some reason. In fact, I don't 100% remember if you even see more than like one Golem from trainers, and even then I'm not 100% confident of that. It has been a bit of a while since I've played a vanilla Gen 1 game. Oh, is that starting already? I hate Sundays. I don't know why this is a constant thing and it's only on Sundays. However, it appears to have not... The frame drop counter is stopped off at 118 for the moment. Nice. Empoleon dodged Earthquake. Just whoop, right in the air. And yeah, that frame drop thing is part of why I'm trying to do Sunday streams earlier in the day for the time being. But we will see how long that actually lasts, I guess. And Golbat erased, and give me my EXP. And Gardevoir is now level 65. Very nice, very nice. I probably should... In fact, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to get Houndoom to level 65 now. And once Houndoom is at 65, then Garchomp can have the lucky egg, and that will probably end up being where it stays until we get to the Elite Four. And possibly even all the way up to the champion, because we may as well, Oh, it was a Twitch thing then. Well, okay. That sounds about right. That sounds like this website to me. Again, we don't really know if these Gravelers have wide guard, but I don't think they do anymore. Alright, this area has, like, strength puzzles that you might have to reset and everything. It was 46, I believe. In fact, I guess say what level it would lose wide guard at would be a good idea. Because then I can easily identify if it's worth trying or not. A real contender, not like any of the fake ones out there, right? Faker. I think you're the fake hedgehog around here, etc., etc. As that starts to sound a little bit like my my Solid Snake. Colonel! Well, that's weird. I fought a lot of them in the underground that had wide guard, so maybe it's an egg move. And I'm just slightly confused, which would really not be abnormal. Let's send in Carnivine. Well, Carnivine's pretty easy. We should just be able to one-shot that with Flamethrower. It's so slow. That's a big reason. Oh, yeah, there you go. That explains a lot. Carnivine being so slow is a big reason why I decided to bench it, so... I know what this Pokemon is capable of and what it's not capable of, and how good it is at dying. Because let me tell you. Let me tell you. Rampardos. That we can remove from this earth using practically anything at our disposal, because I don't think it's very durable. But we're gonna bring Magnezone in, actually, and it's going to use Flash Cannon. And a big reason for this is that we are probably not going to be using Magnezone too much in this area, because a lot of Magnezone's moves are probably going to end up being dead weight against wild Pokemon. Here we need to recognize that we've screwed up already. Oh, I do not like this area. Well, I guess we can go explore the other side of this room. There's nothing in that rock. Oh, well. Oh, it's probably back to... Yeah, I'll check the number. Okay, it did start dropping. So... Yeah, if it's not affecting my voice, that probably means that it's actually causing frame drops as opposed to just Twitch pooping itself. But the number seems to have locked for now in terms of... It's sitting at 574 dropped frames. And does not appear to be going up right now. As I'm sitting here having to monitor this because, well, that's just the condition that my ISP has decided to saddle me with here. Kadabra, we should be able to remove this thing from this planet using Houndoom pretty easily. Yep, nice safe switch in. That makes things very easy on me. And chomp. And so now we have to reset this room. And you are out of there, Kadabra. Leave room. Re-enter room in order to reset this strength puzzle. Which, honestly, why is this such a pain? Alright. Yes, I want to move the rock down. There we go. I probably should just be using the D-pad in order to do this a little better, but here we are. Okay. So don't touch the rock on the right, I guess, because we should have enough space to just push the one on the left one down. And then we go around and we use Rock Smash and push the rock back up. And we should be good from there. Alright, here we go. Another Graveler. This might be worth a... Well... Everything here has been worth about the same amount of EXP. They've all been middle stages. I don't want to use a quick ball. I don't want to catch this thing. Not that good. It's just a Graveler. What are you thinking, game? Come on. Don't be silly. At least not about this. As long as they've not been stage 4. Yeah. Alright, game, give me some decent EXP here. Well, as much as we can get out of wild Pokemon. That was weird. That was a very weird thing that just happened there. At least that looked real weird to me. I don't know. Grass knot. Yeah, that is absolutely a thing that I will 100% say is a missed opportunity. That is a thing that has been a recurring motif of them not doing that, though, for a very long time. Of, like, just... It used to be like that in Red and Blue. And very possibly a couple of the other early games. But after a point, they just stopped doing that. Which is kind of sad, because, you know, it was a good effect. Clefable, we have a decent chunk of levels on this thing. We should be able to flash cannon this to death. Yeah, 22 levels. We should probably be able to roast this in one shot. Yep. What you gonna do with that big bat? About to switch it in Torterra. You know, there's a couple of ways we can handle this, and I think we're going to bring in Houndoom here. I mean, Ice Beam could absolutely just render Torterra into nothingness. Because we'd have over 20... Yeah, we would have 20 levels on this Torterra. And that's quad weakness. But instead, we'll switch to Houndoom, Flamethrower. That should still be a one-shot. That should get Houndoom to level 65, I think. Or pretty damn close. Yeah, not quite there, but very close. Should only be a couple more battles to get there. And then we give the Lucky Egg over to Garchomp for basically whatever is left of this area. Swear, this game acts like I'm controlling it with the stick the whole time when I'm using the D-pad. I'm using my GameCube controller this time, by the way. I actually did go dig out that adapter and hook up the GameCube controller for this because the Joy-Con drift was getting very irritating. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to switch over to using a controller that I know actually works properly. Empoleon to level 69, and Houndoom to level 65. So now, give the egg over to Garchomp, and we're gonna have to do this the stupid way, I'm pretty sure. No moves, though, unfortunately. That's a little less nice, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure that our moveset for Empoleon is basically set in stone at this point. Like, I don't know what we could really get that would be better here. We've got both stabs, we've got Ice Beam, we've got Grass Knot for dealing with specific things. We're in great shape. Might say we're in too good a shape, if you're Leers. We'll understand that. Powdon bringing in a Sandstorm. This thing might actually be able to tank even some of our biggest hits, just by virtue of the fact that Hippowdon has a really fat HP stat. Then again, not so much. 20 levels over it, and we have obliterated it. That's what we'd like to see. It's this area. Is this where we want to go yet? As I've probably made quite clear, this place is very confusing, so I don't 100% know. Well, let's go back over to the Zelda 1 cube strength puzzle. And let's be honest, that's basically what it is. Down. And over here. Deal with Graveler in the usual way. And we're probably going to see a sturdy ping because I didn't look at the health meter. Yep. Yep. And, oh wow, it's not explosion, it's earthquake. Oh, we managed to survive it. That's impressive. Flash cannon for the kill. This Onyx could possibly kill Empoleon if it uses an attack, because it's sturdy, but that's only kind of a possibly instance here, because its attack stat is not good. But we're on 34 HP. We're running a little bit low on Empoleon here. We may want to switch him out sooner rather than later, but I feel like I can still get away with pushing it a little bit. All the way over. Here's a Golbat. This can be eliminated with Ice Beam very easily. I mean, I guess I could have Magnezone in the front and have it use just Thunderbolt. Quick Guard is not going to do anything for this Golbat because I don't have priority moves on this team. Not like the other playthrough I was doing offline. Alright, so over here is where we encounter the Stone Edge TM, I believe. Yeah, see, here we go. Game, send me more things that I know I can kill without having to deal with the potential repercussions of Sturdy. Although I guess that's going to be a thing once Magnezone steps up to the plate, because it's going to have to deal with having a lot of things that its moves don't all work on. Is the sheer amount of ground types in here. Hi, Golbat. You're more free EXP. Just like most things here are, but of course, there's always the fact that a couple of these can cause you some issues. Because of course they can. Up and get into an encounter as soon as we switch bike modes. Well, at least we're not like in the middle of doing all these jumps. I guess at least there's that going for us. That's just for a full restore. Oops. The other bike ramp set is the one that is housing the TM that I mentioned earlier, isn't it? I think I mentioned the TM earlier. It's a Stone Edge TM. Which, granted, is not, like, super important for us right now. But we may as well clear this place out if we're in here. At least as much as we can. I might change my mind and decide to use it. Because Rock is a pretty good attacking type, and while Stone Edge has only an 80% accuracy, it's pretty strong. For now, we're just pushing this to the limit. We're looking for the limits of good taste here. Pretty much right up until Empoleon gets killed. And we dodged Earthquake. Nice. Very good. Very good. We'll throw another Grass Knot in that direction. God, really? I didn't even move a space. Oh, hey, here's a Wild Steelix. See, they do exist. And it's going to use Sandstorm, wasting its turn and letting me destroy it for free. Very nice of you, game. I appreciate it. 68 for Crobat and Magnezone. Both doing absolutely amazing amounts of work here in terms of level gaining, but neither of them have been doing much except for warming the bench for a bit. Soon, though, they'll get their chance. Sooner rather than later, I swear. Level 66 for Gardevoir. Getting places with our team. Oh, these are a forced double battle, I see. Whiscash and Staraptor. Well, Staraptor is easily handled by either of our team members, but Whiscash is going to really only be best dealt with by Empoleon, who can one-shot it pretty much guaranteed with Grass Knot. So get this Namazu-looking motherfucker out of here. Yes, yes. Get wrecked. Unfortunately, we could not one-shot Staraptor with Houndoom. But hey, Empoleon reached level 70, so that's pretty nice. Empoleon is also going to take the fall here and die of close combat. Oh well. Couldn't be avoided, except for when it very easily could have, probably. Alright, Gardevoir, get in there! And by Gardevoir, I meant Garchomp, but Garchomp needs the EXP more, so that's fine. That was what I intended to do, I just said the wrong thing. Bonk. Alright. With Empoleon being on the floor, we're putting Magnezone up front for now. I need to let go of the stick sooner than that. And here's a Graveler. These are why I don't really prefer using Magnezone as what I fight with here. Also, I keep noticing that when Magnezone pops in, for a second it does have the red and white tips on the magnets, but they disappear afterwards. Like, is it supposed to just be on the front-facing ends of the horseshoe and only on the front two or something? Because, like, what? What? W-A-H-T? What? Are you having a giggle, mate? Etc. And Steelix. Oh, boy. Magnezone is going to have a very bad time doing much of anything to this, which means that this is going to be a major PP dump here. And insert your own jokes, I guess. But we're going to try and chip it down with just Magnezone. If Magnezone hits 70, that'll be more than enough for us, really. I don't think Tri-Attack is going to be a kill, but we're going to try for it anyway. Try for it. Then again, Tri-Attack is, like, useless in here, so it's just as well to throw it in when as the kill shot where necessary. There we go. TM71 Stone Edge. As I said, probably not going to be used by us, but good to have it just in case we change our mind. Finding a lot of wild Steelix in a row now, and by a lot I mean 2, but that's more than you usually get, so do this again because it might be reasonably safe from encounters while we're doing that combo. At least it felt like it. I could probably just use repels, but I don't feel like it. I don't even remember if I have any repels. You pick up a couple of them throughout the game. I just don't remember if I used them or not, because I think I did at some point use my repels. When an area was not really worth any experience whatsoever and was annoying me. And that would mean Wayward Cave in this case, because I went to get that Earthquake TM. I didn't know there were wild Machokes in here because we hadn't seen one. Or maybe we had seen one earlier, but it's just been so long that I've forgotten. That's always an option. This is along the lines of what I'd like to see. As far as anything to get rid of is Golbats. At least let me spend these Thunderbolts, you know? That's where most of my PP is sitting. Well, this guy's admitting he's only got one Pokemon and it's a Machamp. Hey, shoutouts to Machamps.com, etc., etc. Oh, Machamps.com. Highly entertaining of a thing for some reason. And handled. Magnezone is fucking strong. Just wish it had a slightly more useful moveset. I almost said utilitarian, but that's not exactly correct here. I mean, I suppose that technically you can use that word in that instance and it will mean mostly what you want it to, but that's mostly. And down we go. Ah, yes, areas to surf through. Ah, yes, dead ends. Level 66 for both Houndoom and Garchomp. Ah, yes, I can do that too. It's called reading a history textbook. Ah, yes, here's a baby Pokemon for a regular Pokemon nobody wanted. Chingling being one of the weirder Pokemon in the series in a lot of ways. Now, some Thunderbolt should take care of that. Very nice. And Chimecho is about to come in. We can take care of that using a Crunch, I'm sure. Really not a Pokemon worth a ton of experience at that level. I mean, wow, Chimecho is bad. That's all I've got to say here. It's just, wow. It's bad Pokemon. $36 Golbat. I'm actually going to run away from that because that's not worth the experience. Here is another trainer. So I should go check that water pool first. Now this one's on dry land, so it'll probably actually be worth experience. Yeah, that would be quite a franchise shift there, switching over to FF4, right? Excuse me. Alright, so here's another forced double battle for us. We get a Pearl from that rock. We'll take these trainers and get our EXP. Medicham and Gyarados. That's a team we should be able to take out. As, yeah, the Gyarados should be fried instantly by Magnezone. And Medicham probably can't stand up to a Flamethrower. Well, I'm led to understand that World of Final Fantasy has a little bit of that going on. But I don't know to what extent that is the case. Because I haven't played that yet. And Lears has something to say on it. Yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I know it exists, and that's the long and short of it. Ooh, see, he's got the information that we need here. My man. Well, in that case, that said, it's good that that's out there. I'm I'm gonna have to take a look into that if I can find that somewhere for a reasonable price. Alright, you, enjoy your... Wherever you're going. And see, I wouldn't be surprised also if they did start leaning a little more Dragon Quest, just by virtue of, well, Square is Square Enix and has been for like 20 years now, but... This Honchkrow should probably get roasted by Thunderbolt pretty easily. And might be worth a decent chunk of experience, which will be great because we're starting to run up to a point where that's becoming less and less of a thing. That'll do, I guess. Go up this waterfall. Alright, so we're starting to see the Dragon Tamers. So things are getting pretty serious. We're getting reasonably deep into Victory Road here, I believe, by this point. 40, I don't really want to fight this. Go down the waterfall. Grab this item. Don't fuck up and go over the edge. Get into a fight with another Golbat, because there's a lot of these. I like the fact that Victory Road here has such poor Pokemon variety that they can't even be asked to put water Pokemon in the water areas. Hey, Dragon Pulse. We got one of those earlier, so we know that nothing can learn that where it would be useful. I mean, technically Garchomp can learn it, but Garchomp's physical attack is so much higher than its special. Like, I'm sure by this point it's double. In fact, let's take a look. See just how far off that is. No, it's not quite double, but it is still a pretty big step up. What do you got, buddy? You got Gabite. That's kind of respectable. Unfortunately, it's at such a low level that it dies to Tri-Attack. Nice. Real nice, buddy. Real fucking nice, asshole. Look, it's another Golbat that's probably underleveled. What do these things eat, anyway? I mean, there is, like, nothing in this area except for rocks and Golbats. I mean, I guess there's a couple of fighting-type Pokemon, but very, very few. And I'm sure that Golbats are really chowing down on Steelix, right? And deleted. Not worth a ton of experience, but hey. I'll take anything over a grand at this point, that's for sure. Oh boy, a big mushroom. Well, I can sell that later. That's kind of useful, I guess. Alright, now here we are again. We're back in the first room. On, like, the other end. I'm pretty sure that's what the deal is. Tentacruel. Also, apparently that description said that Magnezone was breathing, which is a very strange thing to imagine. Golem, huh? Do we have a good solution for that that's alive? No. So we'll just keep using Magnezone for now, because we can just hit it with Flash Cannon and possibly one-shot it. The possibly is, of course, due to the fact that Sturdy exists. I mean, it's Golem. I'm pretty sure that if it weren't for that, Flash Cannon would be a guaranteed instant kill. We've got 25 levels on this thing, almost. Yeah, see, why is this thing level 45? That's absolutely pathetic for this point. Like, it amazes me that these Victory Road trainers are all not really even hitting Volkner's top level. Crobat hit level 69, by the way, and we can finally learn Leech Life, which means that Confuse Ray is out of here. Oh yeah, let me show off. Leech Life is 80 power now. Has been since Gen 7, but just in case anybody missed it. Empoleon. We should be able to fry this pretty quickly.
Almost 2,000 experience from that Empoleon, which is pretty nice.
Right, so let's scan this layer before we start messing around with Rock Climb. Oh, hi, Graveler. Like we haven't seen enough of you already. Ah, yes, good. It didn't die and it's using Rock Blast. That move is not annoying or anything. Almost got Magnezone to 70. Up this way. I think this is the exit because here's this guy.
You ever met the kind of people that come to these Stacy
This guy has
concerts?
a Gabite,
These
and I
dudes
think probably
have got
another Gibble.
energy to spare.
I don't remember offhand, but either way, not a super impressive team from this dude. Doesn't have a Garchomp, because that is reserved specifically for the champion. Send in another Gibble. This one we can probably assign to someone else to take out. Garchomp, how have you not gained to like level 67 at least at this point? What the fuck, dude? Okay, no Gabite, but there is a Gyarados, because of course there's a Gyarados. I mean, let's be honest, of course there's a Gyarados. Everybody in this game has Gyarados. And T-Bolt. Level 70 for Magnezone and level 67 for Gardevoir. Almost got Garchomp to level 67. We're getting pretty close. I'm going to see if this is the exit. Yes, I think this is the exit. Well, in that case, we're going to leave, and then we're going to come back. And we're going to continue to search for that Dark Pulse TM. And if we can get that, that's going to help us. There's still a couple more little areas that we haven't explored, as you can see. Yep, and here they really want to make sure that you have Waterfall. So we duck in here real quick. Oh, we get a camera sweep over these models. A little bits of that texture looked a little crusty up close. That's weird. Oh well. Let's heal ourselves. And out we go. There. Go down. Otherwise, we're going to go all the way back in the cave and we're going to be really pissed off. Go up this way. See, there's an item over there that we can get to if we walk back up to the veteran. But we'll deal with that in a sec. For now, we just want to start moving these boulders. Using the simplest puzzle in the world. There we go. There's our Dark Pulse TM. We'll get the other item, though, just to be sure. Because it might be useful as well. But the Dark Pulse TM was one of the most major things that we wanted out of this place. Alright, let's get rid of Crunch in favor of Dark Pulse. You can see it's not a power gain, but it is coming off of our better attacking stat, and the ability to flinch is pretty nice. Dark Pulse has the otherwise unused, I believe, 20% chance to inflict a flinch. I don't know why it's the only move that has 20% flinch chance, but it is. I didn't design this game. And if I did, I would have made it not be a straight port of fucking Diamond and Pearl. Boom! I would have actually designed the game instead of just yanking one from an existing... Well, you know, we've had that conversation before. Garchomp just hit level 67. I probably, if I was being smart about things, I would actually put Garchomp up at the front of my party for the rest of this dungeon. What little bit is left. Pick up that Razor Claw. Oh, hi, Steelix. I haven't seen enough of these things in the wild here. An item over here. Bottle of zinc. What do you have for us? Yeah? Real useful. I'm pretty sure that guy blocks the way to the battle zone or whatever it's called. A post-game area. Oh, hello again. We did find the exit of Victory Road. We went back in to grab the Dark Pulse TM, however, because we were running low on resources. Alright, up we go. And Onyx deleted, and back up we go. Out this way. Go through the door. I think there's an item out here of any kind, however. Yep. In we go. Heal. Talk to this dude. Oh, right. Well. Time for our one last story fight with Barry. Opening with Staraptor, which is a pretty decent Pokemon. Sure. As we've been over before. Barry has some actual levels to him now, I think. Yeah, 49 is pretty decent. The Intimidate really, really screwed up our ability to do damage, though, so... This Staraptor is actually going to take a couple of hits, which is surprising, considering it's Staraptor. It's a bit of a glass cannon. And Garchomp is our main fighter here. Alright, what are you bringing out to deal with us? Floatzel, huh? Switch Pokemon. Again, we have a lot of things that can deal with Floatzel. I want Gardevoir to gain the EXP, though. As you'll see that for as much as Barry has levels, they're not, like, a ton of levels. But they are enough to give us EXP. Like, level 49. I'm pretty sure that his starter is going to be in the 50s. And overall, everything is going to be a lower level than even Aaron, so... You know, not an impressive lead. Yay! Houndoom went to level 67. Very nice. about to send out Rapidash. Rapidash can be handled by any number of things, but in this case it's going to be Garchomp. Yep. One-shot Earthquake. There you go. The Intimidate being shaken off. We can do a lot more now. About to send in Torterra. And Torterra will be dealt with Houndoom, who also needs a fair amount of EXP to remain competitive. Oh wow, it didn't die in one hit from Flamethrower. And he's got leftovers. And also he set Stealth Rocks. He doesn't have a healing item though, apparently, so that's good. I think Houndoom might be able to deal with the rest of this dude's Pokemon. Because he's going to have Snorlax and something else. I don't remember what the last Pokemon is, but I don't remember it being very good. I just don't want to keep switching through Stealth Rocks because I don't want to give that move the satisfaction of being considered a real move. Unfortunately, Snorlax is, you know, as beefy as ever. High horsepower. Fucking A. Really? Is that just a thing that it learns by level? Because otherwise, I am slightly confused. Of course, that burn is doing fucking work. Hey, Fire Drake, how are you doing? I hope you're doing all right. Okay, yeah, Snorlax just learns high horsepower by level. Oh boy, we got yawned at. That's unfortunate. Which means that we are going to have to switch, basically. Alright, let's try wrapping things with Dark Pulse here. Yep. No healing items from Barry once again. And Houndoom falls asleep. And what's the last Pokemon? Is Heracross. Yeah, so unfortunately, yes, we're going to have to let Stealth Rock actually do a little bit of damage. Trying to survive the eating season. Good luck, my friend. You can do this. And of course, to really rub it in, we're taking a fourth of our health in Stealth Rock damage because, you know, Stealth Rock really should check for type effectiveness when it's a rock type move and it's an entry hazard at all. I hope whoever came up with the designs for the, you know, anything related to pretty much any of the entry hazards got sacked. Too bad your ass got sacked. Yeah, get out of here, Barry. You exist and that's about it. Heal up. And we should probably go grab some items because we're going to want them between fights. Alright. Yeah, so we got all different types of Pokeballs. More importantly, we've got a bunch of these different healing items. We're gonna grab 20 max potions, and that should be enough. Oh yeah, of course, we're into the part of the stream where for some reason my ISP has decided that, hey, this is the time of night during every week when it's gonna be shit. I really don't know why this is a thing, and that's why I'm trying to do earlier in the day streams on Sundays, and yet apparently I just was too tired today. Because trying to get into the Endwalker queues is just kind of ridiculous. So sincere apologies for that, but you know, a little outside of my control. Deal with this, and yep, what you got? Just tell me, hey, you got all these badges. Yay. Good job. Congratulations. Alright, well. Before we do any of that, let's save real quick. And you can see up to 40 hours. Last time we were at like 18 or something. I did a lot of work off stream getting these Pokemon up to level. And let's double check that. All right, so we're gonna put Houndoom at the front of the party, front of the level. Yeah, shut up, me. And we're gonna go fight Aaron here, our bug trainer. Ron. Of course, the problem is that most bugs in Sinnoh are kind of trash. And also, he's going to end things with not an actual bug Pokemon. And he's leading off with Dustox. Now, unfortunately, you'd think, hey, Dustox, that's total trash. I can one-shot this thing. You pretty much can't, because basically every Pokemon in the Elite Four has perfect IVs and well-spec'd natures and everything else. Although in this case, what we have is pure levels. So hey, this time we actually did manage to one-shot Dustox. I constantly had issues with that when I was playing Shining Pearl off-stream. Heracross, however, should be very easy pickings for Crobat. I mean, Heracross, I think, has, like, actually acceptable defense. But what it does have is double weakness to flying. So, this thing is taking 6 times damage from this pluck. And just getting insta-gibbed. Get the fuck out of here. Give Garchomp level 68. And you're going to send in Beautifly, huh? Well, we have no bug-type moves to just... Or, bug-type moves. No rock-type moves to turn that thing into goo. So, let's send in Houndoom. And let's Flamethrower. Oh, there's probably something. I don't know what the deal is. However, apparently, from what I've been told, the audio stays at least okay, so I guess that's something. It always happens around, like, this time of day on Sundays, however, which makes me think that it's some sort of scheduled thing. At 7 p.m. on a Sunday? What in the flying fat fuck? I mean, you know, I don't know what's up with that. Why is it like, hey, this is still a time when regular church-going people would actually still be awake. Meanwhile, I'm up at whatever random hours because I'm literally Satan, but, you know, we've had that conversation before, haven't we? So here's the deal. Here's one of the other things that I don't like about this Elite Four. Aaron here is a bug-type trainer, and he's ending with a Poison Dark Pokemon. I mean, yes, Drapion starts off from Skorupi, which is a bug poison, but still. Like, yeah, it probably is, like, some form of scheduled maintenance. But, like, again, 7 p.m. on a Sunday. Like, can you not at least wait until, like, 2 a.m. or something when everybody-ish would be asleep? We have 11 levels on this thing, and it's still faster than us! There is no fucking way that it should be faster than us. That this piece of shit should be able to outspeed us. You are fucking kidding me. I just want to point that out, that is Game Shark level garbage. Well, on top of that, I'm also being very angry right now. And, like, Satan is very specifically supposed to be, like, the one who's focused around Wrath, if I recall correctly. So, I mean, that's leaning into it a little hard, right? Okay, so number 2, we have Bertha in the second slot. And by putting Empoleon up to bat, we are being slightly risky because Bertha's a ground type, but we'll be fine, I think. Although she does have some pretty nasty shit. This fight, my first run through of Diamond, I came in here and I was a little under-leveled compared to her Whiscash. And that thing whipped out three, count them, 3 fissures that all hit. And that was just absolutely buck-fucking-wild. Granted, I don't suppose that's, like, the most unlikely thing. It's really only, on average, about, like, a 1 in 27 chance for that sort of string to happen, but that's still kind of dog shit. The one thing that's going to make Bertha super easy is that she's going to constantly throw out Pokemon that are double weak to our best moves. And we're going to spend Grass Knot because let's keep Surf for things that are guaranteed to be a little bit stronger. Meanwhile, here's Golem rock polishing, probably to try and catch up to us. But it has Sturdy, so that's one thing that makes this a little bit of a pain. Oh, she's using full restores. Yeah. So the way one-hit kill move accuracy works as of Gen 2 is that it is 30% accuracy if you're on the level. If your target is over your level when you're using a one-hit kill, it does not work. Full stop. It can't hit. I think even with lock on, it does nothing. Lears, you're allowed to say masturbator. Oh god. Ouch. Fuck. Okay. Apparently Golem doesn't like that I bring up his personal issues. Her personal issues, pardon me. Yes, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to say masturbator. If the automod catches that, I'm gonna be like, when did it start ratcheting up to level, like, 1 billion? Alright, so here we get another weird case, because Sudowoodo is not a ground type, it's a rock type. The devs really were just like, okay, yeah, I guess it's close enough. I don't know about that. I mean, Automod is just fucking RNG too, apparently, sometimes, because God knows the things that they do and do not allow. Hey, 71 for Empoleon, 68 for Gardevoir. Good times to be had all around. And here's this stupid demon fish. And it's gobbling down a berry, because of course it is. And it didn't die in one hit, because of course not. So it's probably going to get a revenge kill on us. Unfortunately, Whiscash is not very heavy, so... You know, a little hard to kill with Grass Knot. Oh, is it buffering now? Awesome. That one we're blaming on Twitch, though. Alright, so Whiscash is at a low enough HP that we can pretty much kill this thing with anything, I'm pretty sure. And I think she's out of full restores. So we're gonna Dark Pulse this thing to death. Get out of here! And I forget what her last Pokemon is, but it's, like, not great, I don't think. Oh, it's a Hippowdon. That's... I'm so happy about that, because I have nothing that's super effective against it anymore. Well, you know what? Houndoom, you just stick it out for now. And yeah, as said before, I'm pretty sure that it's some sort of scheduled maintenance of some kind that is going on, because, you know, I don't know why, but hey, why not? That was a nicely timed flinch there, Houndoom, because I'm taking a big risk with this, and if Dark Pulse isn't going to land a kill, at least we can get good flinch RNG. Hooray, we beat Bertha. Give me your scarf! Anyway, let's throw out a quick revive for our fallen hero here, Empoleon, who is bringing all the goodness in the world. Do I have any? I do not have any hyper potions. I should have bought some of those. Now I have to fight Big Bertha. Okay, so the next guy, I'm gonna take like 30 seconds here to double check something, because next up is Flint, and Flint is infamous because, of course, in these games there are only 2 fire-type Pokemon in the Sinnoh Pokedex. Okay. It's Rapidash who's up next. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to look at what Pokemon he led off with. Because his only Fire-type Pokemon, despite being the Fire-type member of the Elite Four, because apparently nobody went back and said, hey, we should beef this up, he's got Rapidash and Infernape, and those are his only Fire-types. And yeah, Rapidash is a fucking joke. I mean, this thing's move pool is just kind of ass in particular, this Rapidash. I have this whole thing up, even though I probably don't need it to deal with this fight. Rapidash is toting Flame Charge, Iron Tail, Poison Jab, and Hypnosis. And it's also going to get instantly killed. Flame Charge is legitimately its best move choice. And it did, what, 30, 40 damage to us? What a joke. Get surfed, son. About to send in Lopunny. Okay, so Lopunny we don't have a good specific solution for. by virtue of the fact that we don't have any fighting type moves on our team. Because there's just none that I can really use with my current Pokemon. I do not know why, but that is the way of it. Before we switch anybody, we're going to take a look at our speed stats and see who's the fastest. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Crobat with that 254. Yeah. Just bring out CERO. Amazing. Yeah, so Lopunny has some dangerous moves. It has Mirror Coat, High Jump Kick, Quick Attack, and Fire Punch. So we just want to hit this thing as hard and as fast as possible. So that way the only thing that can do damage to us really is Quick Attack. But of course you can see we don't have a ton of damage with Crobat, and we just took a critical hit Fire Punch. At least we didn't get burned. But yeah, so right now our best bet is basically just going to be to spam Cross Poison and hope we get crits or poison. Oh, nice timing. Nice dodge. And I guess hope that we don't hit the full restore point, which I don't think we've got to worry about that. Yep. Oh no, Crobat is infatuated right as we're about to switch out, because I'm pretty sure that Flint is going to try to send in Steelix next. Yep, about to send out Steelix. Now, Steelix has Sheer Force and Life Orb for an ability. So Steelix has a move pool also of Thunder Fang, Fire Fang, Iron Tail, and Crunch. Sheer Force Life Orb is a combination where you get the Life Orb boost, but you don't take damage from it. That could be scary, but it doesn't have Sturdy, crucially, which means that we should be able to get a one-hit kill on this thing if we exploit its weaknesses, which are that its special defense is not amazing, and that it's Steel Ground. So, with any luck, Houndoom should be able to Flamethrower this thing into Oblivion. Into Oblivion. Get the fuck off my planet, buddy. That's right, my whole planet now. Garchomp to 69. Excelente. About to send in Drifblim. Drifblim presents an interesting issue in that dealing with it is not super easy, and our best bet is to get around the fact that it's Citrus Berry. Basically, we want to kill it before its Citrus Berry goes off. And really, all Drifblim can do is basically just spam Minimize and Baton Pass. Okay, so it's Citrus Berried, so we're probably not going to hit a full restore as a result, because 25% HP is recovered, and it's going to use Strength Sap instead. Drifblim has no damaging moves. It has Strength Sap, which just heals it, which, meh. I can punch through that. Oh no, it lowers Houndoom's physical attack, something we're not going to use. This is the thing that can get annoying, because it can Minimize and Baton Pass. It can pass that Minimize if we miss to Infernape, and that's just a combination that's shit. Its fourth move is Will-O-Wisp, which cannot even do anything to Houndoom, who is literally immune to burn by virtue of being fire type. So basically, easy game, easy life, and now his last Pokemon is Infernape. Infernape is firefighting, so we can deal with it in multiple different ways, but I think that my favorite is going to be surfing it into next week. With a 10 level advantage, I feel like this is a good one-hit kill, but we may take a big hit here. And oh, that's gonna be a big hit! Unfortunately for you, Flint, you have secured an instant kill. here. By decreasing its own special defense, that Surf is just instant death for this thing. Plus, bonus crit chance. That is... Oh, it used a Focus Sash. More like a fuck yourself sash. So, I think what's going to happen here is there's going to be a full restore, and we're still going to get the kill. It's just that we're coming out of this with one less PP than we probably should. Because, hey, what an amazing use of resources. Get that shit out of here. Focus Sash. Pfft. What do you think you are? Playing on Showdown? And roasted and toasted. Let's throw a quick max potion to Empoleon, who is probably going to be needed in the not too distant future. And we want to switch Houndoom in for this fight, because I've got something very special prepared for Lucian here. Who normally, Lucian is kind of the stalling expert. And a lot of that comes from the use of this first Pokemon that he's going to send out. And its specific toolkit. As we will see in just a second here. Sending out Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime, as I alluded to much earlier in the stream, carries a Light Clay, which means that it can use Reflect and Light Screen, and they can last for 7 turns instead of 5. We would like to never see either of those moves happen, so let's use Taunt. Taunt prevents the use of status moves, so we were just like, hey, yeah, you're not doing that, buddy. That's it. Enjoy not having a strategy. And unfortunately, this is not going to be a very quick kill because Mr. Mime has very good special resistance. Ooh, nice dodge. That could have hurt. Alright, full restore? Full restore. Yes. As called. And Taunt has worn off, but we can re-up that right away. Can't use Light Screen. Get wrecked. We're going to try throwing Thunderfang into the mix to exploit Mr. Mime's lower physical defense and try for a paralysis. Or at least try to avoid being in full restore range when we try to use Dark Pulse again. See if we can't end this thing's career. There we go. Get out of here. Scram. About to send in Medicham. Now, Medicham we're going to deal with using Gardevoir and Moonblast. Because we have a fair chunk of those, and we're going to want to use Moonblast quite a bit in the last fight here. But we won't need 15 of them, probably. And Medicham is down in 1. And hey, getting Gardevoir some more levels is always good. About to send in Girafarig. Now, Girafarig, my best bet for dealing with Girafarig really is to have either Garchomp or Houndoom deal with things. And so Houndoom is going to come up to bat. Houndoom doesn't get a whole lot of time to shine in the next fight. So we'll let it have a shot here. I think it has a chance to do better against this than Garchomp would, though, in general as well. Plus, there's a chance of a flinch, which was not needed. One and done for Girafarig. Alright, what do you got next, buddy? We got Crobat going to level 71. That's always nice. Alakazam. So Alakazam is much softer on the physical side, which means that I think Garchomp is going to be able to plunder some pretty hearty experience from this fight. Possibly hitting level 70 in time for the champion, that would be good. However, Alakazam is getting into some dangerous territory by setting up Nasty Plot. Ooh. I don't know what else this thing has, so that could be dangerous. Oh, it died in one hit. Never mind. That looks a little scary until you remember that, oh yeah, Alakazam's bulk is negative. Bronzong as the last Pokemon here. So, to deal with this, we are going to stay the course with Garchomp and just try to crunch this thing out. Because that lets us ignore both of its abilities. And I mean, sure, if Earthquake lands, it's pretty much death. But I forget what this thing has. And actually seeing that, I'm just going to go look it up. I looked up for Flint. I think that we're past the point of having to be... Oh, damn it, it has Levitate. Well, never mind. So, I guess we're moving to Crunch Spam a little bit here. Or, we're going to drop a quick Iron Head here in order to try and get it into a position where we're not going to crunch it into full restore range. I mean, sure, it's going to do some damage to us. I mean, okay, it's spamming Earthquake. We get it. You know one move. Cool. Now get out of here. Get out! I would probably use that as a soundbite if it wouldn't scare the shit out of me. Just for reference. And he is down! One last battle to go. And it's gonna be a hard one, even with our levels. So to start things off, we are going to fully heal everybody. I'm surprised I haven't really had any use for full restores, because we have had, like, no status effects so far. I know that a couple of the Elite Four trainers can actually bust them out, but we've seen very little. Let's put Gardevoir up at the front, because we're dealing with some very gross Pokemon here to deal with, and we need that Moonblast against Cynthia. Yeah, see, this is why we need to lead off with something with a Fairy-type move, because Spiritomb is literally only weak to Fairy-type moves. And I believe its item is like leftovers or something. I'm not looking at that stuff for the final fight here. We don't need that. We are bigger than that, and so are our damage numbers. Get absolutely fucking annihilated! Wow! With only 7 levels up. Considering Spiritomb is like a pretty beefy tank, that's shocking. Roserade is her next Pokemon, and I don't sense that thing putting up any fight whatsoever against Houndoom, who still has a pretty solid-sized clip of flamethrowers. And, I mean, it might have a couple of moves that can surprise us, but 9 level advantage. Oh, wow, it goes faster than us. Are you sure about that game? Then again, Cynthia uses a Game Shark, so are we surprised? Slightly literal Game Shark when you see her final Pokemon. Ta-da! 3 levels out of that. Level for Gardevoir. Level for Magnezone. Magnezone, who may not see any action whatsoever in this fight. Actually, it's got to use. And Empoleon. About to send in Gastrodon. Alright, Gastrodon. We should be able to one-shot Gastrodon. Or maybe two-shot. Because Gastrodon can be kind of beef. But I think it's more a physical wall. Either way, most Gastrodons I've seen in this run-through have gotten just annihilated. So... Oh, not quite a kill. Damn it. It's not like it has sturdy or anything. All this Dorkass can really do to us is Rock Tomb, by the way. And so it's got leftovers, which... Okay, whatever. You go ahead and do that. Because she's still going to full restore it anyway. Alright, if we can land a crit, then we don't have to deal with any of the full restore spam. Although, I mean, that might actually not be ideal. If we can run her full restores out against this Pokemon, that would be better. Because Gastrodon does not present a challenge to us whatsoever. Like, okay, it's going to use Rock Tomb a couple of times. Whatever, my speed is lower. Empoleon is not going to be at the forefront for either of her 2 most dangerous Pokemon. And in fact, I think those are her last 2 Pokemon at this point. We got Roserade, Spiritomb, Gastrodon. No, there's one more. I just don't remember what it is. Because, of course, there's Garchomp Milotic. After this, there's this thing. Well, I think we ran her out of full restores. It's a Lucario, that's right. Yeah, so we're going to switch Pokemon to deal with Lucario. Lucario. There isn't a good solution to Lucario as a general rule. But we can probably just Flamethrower or Earthquake it to death. In fact, Houndoom is just a sacrifice at this point. Since her last 2 Pokemon are a Milotic and a Garchomp. Let's try and Flamethrower it. Let's go for the style points by sending out the weaker Pokemon. And that's going to hurt. That is probably going to kill us, in fact. So yeah. I was hoping that maybe Houndoom had a little bit of speed left in the tank, but not enough. Alright, so now Garchomp can deal with this, and... That said, Garchomp is probably not going to actually spend too much time being our man of the hour here. But this Earthquake should be a one-shot. Yeah, oh yes. If that wasn't an instant kill on Lucario, which doesn't have a ton of defense, I would have been shocked. About to send in Milotic. This is the Pokemon that's really annoying. And actually, I'm going to try to do something a little bit funny here. Just for goofs, we're going to start things off with a Magnet Rise. And if you believe that, let me tell you about this awesome bridge I've got to sell you. Alright. Again, I'm pretty sure she's out of full restores, but if she isn't, that's going to absolutely be the full restore point. However, instead, Milotic is going to use Recover, And we are going to point and laugh at how absolutely fucking useless its ability is right now. Because Marvel Scale only boosts regular defense. So Magnezone just scythes through this thing like a hot knife through butter. And now for the last Pokemon, Garchomp. You might think you know how to handle this thing. This thing has a berry. We're sending in Crobat, and we're going to use the strategy that I ended up using in Shining Pearl, even if it does not turn out to be necessary. And we're going to yoink that Yasha Berry off of it, which is the big thing that you'd have to deal with, because that would reduce the amount of ice damage it would take. And yeah, okay, we take damage, but honestly, Crobat is in a position where it's a sacrifice. Yasha Berry stolen, it's going to Swords Dance. That sucks, because that's not really what we want to see. That means that we stand a very good chance of just getting one-shot by whatever it throws at us on any of our other Pokemon, and honestly, probably on Crobat too, which is kind of made of paper. Okay, I think Pluck is going to be our strongest source of damage. Especially because Rough Skin happens after we drain health. Yeah, Crobat's down, but that's okay. We wanted Crobat to be our safe switch, and I think we're going to be in a position where that does not matter anymore, but we're going to send Gardevoir out instead of the Penguin, because Gardevoir is faster. And that's going to come in handy because Garchomp has a base speed of 108, which is ridiculous. And we got hit by fucking Poison Jab anyway. And it was a crit to boot, which was probably unnecessary. So I think we just lose at this point because, you know, the AI outthought us a little bit here. We got cheated. Yeah, here comes the boosted Earthquake. We're going to die to this. Hang on. Damn you, Empoleon. What are these affection stats for if they don't fucking work? Well, Magnezone, go in and basically be target practice for a second while I throw... What? While my D-pad throws a fucking rod, too. Jesus Christ. I fucking hate the GameCube controller's D-pad, by the way. I just want to put that out there. I was like, oh, hey, this will work better than using the stick. No, it doesn't. Alright, so we have a chance of not needing to have Crobat up in the lead. But it is only a chance. And we're sending in Garchomp to try and deal with this. I don't think we're going to be faster, even with a 4-level advantage, because, as we've mentioned before, Cynthia fucking cheats. Oh, hey, never mind. RNG won the day. Get out of here. Instead of having to cheese it with Crobat, we cheesed it with pure luck. Well, there we go. We win. Now we just have to go through the cutscenes of becoming the champion. Yeah, stealing Yasha Berry and using Ice Beam tends to work better with Floatzel than Empoleon, just to really put that out there, in case you needed me to tell you for some reason. As we slowly hobble down the hall to our destination. Oh hey, there's Professor Rowan, showing back up again. Hey buddy. Yeah, I used a thing I didn't need. That's okay. I didn't know that I didn't need it, so... Yeah, see, the professor is necessary here. How organized or not organized really is this Pokemon League stuff, huh? And yeah, despite our becoming champion and it being a plot point, it never becomes a thing that we have to defend our title until much, much later in the series. And even then, I'm pretty sure it's literally only the Sun and Moon games where they diverged from the way the Pokemon League stuff regularly worked and added the mechanic that makes sense. That's a little weird. And I believe we're going to end this off with only 2 Pokemon below level 70. Yep. Gardevoir and Houndoom, both at level 69. Everything else, 70 plus. Lagging into the Hall of Fame. Well, I mean, loss of frames doesn't count because that should not happen, but I've said that before. Hooray, we beat the game. 41 hours, 19 minutes. Yay, yay. And that's it. That is going to be the end of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, with part of it being ruined once again for the Twitch audience by my internet service provider, because of course. And we get a very uninteresting looking staff roll. No battle to surprise you before the game resets. And that's about it for us. That's the end of it. We done acceptably. And this game, well, as I think I've said, or at least implied before, this game does basically what it sets out to do, and that's about all you can say. Is it a remake of Diamond and Pearl? Yes. Does it basically play like those? Yes. Does it improve on those games? A little bit. Although, relatively speaking, it's a very minor type of improvement. Like, yes, the quality of life things are good, but it doesn't really do much else to smooth out certain level curves or anything, or, you know, the way that the Pokemon variety is improved does not change any of the trainers, which, in my opinion, means that ultimately not enough was done with this in order to actually make it, like, if your choices are between this and the original Diamond and Pearl, in terms of, like, for your money and everything, I would say that the differences are not necessarily large enough. Well, I guess carrying around your own, like, regular party for the entire game instead of having to go into, instead of having to choose, instead of having to carry around HM servants, that's pretty great by itself. I think that's okay. I am going to try and look on eBay to see how much it costs to get a copy of Diamond version versus a copy of Shining Diamond. Looking for not bootlegs, which of course is going to be fun. I don't 100% know how authentic any of this stuff is. Alright, so you got... Well, somebody appears to be selling a cartridge for $17. It says cannot be played on Pokewalker. That makes me think that this person is sending... yeah. Okay, that person is definitely selling bootlegs, judging by the fact that they're Heart Gold and Soul Silver are absolutely those. So a copy with the box is selling for $41 plus $5.40 shipping for where I'm at in the world. So we'll say about $50, $50 to $55 for a legit copy of Diamond with the box, which to me is really overpriced. Granted, any retro game selling for, well, okay, let me correct that, because retro game prices are, you know, the original price for a lot of games is a little bit all over the place. I've been doing research for a video recently, and it came to my attention, for example, that at the time, quite a few Sega Master Systems were $30 when they came out. Phantasy Star for a Sega Master System was $70 because it came out at a time when it had a fuck ton of RAM. ROM, pardon me. And like Dragon Warrior was $50, which was a lot for an NES game. But like, to me, there's certain price points. Like if a DS game is more than $40, somebody is yanking you a little bit, and if a Game Boy Advance game is more than $40, you're being jerked around. Which is part of why I brought up in the video about Metroid Fusion that copies of that used were $80 and that was insane. And how that's why piracy exists, Nintendo. The fact that you won't redistribute these in any real manner. So, yeah. I would say that between this or a copy of Diamond, assuming that hardware costs do not exist, like it's not a case of like, oh, I have a Switch but I don't have a DS, or I have to buy either hardware because, yeah, DS will be cheaper to get than a Switch. If you already have both systems, then I would still say that maybe if you can get a used copy of this at like a GameStop price, which would be like $55 as opposed to $60, this is more worth it than paying $50 for the DS version, because the quality of life improvements are actual. But compared to playing Platinum, if you're in a position where the price isn't an issue, then Platinum is definitely the better case. And again, we're talking about legitimate purchases here. We're not talking about, you know, bootlegs or reproductions, as they call them. Fuck off. They're bootlegs. You just call them reproductions because then eBay won't get on your ass, and also you can charge more for them. And of course, we're not talking about piracy, you know, in the sense of just downloading the game. Even though bootleg games, you know, reproduction cartridges, those actually are, I would say, more pirate than downloading ROMs, actually, because literal money is being taken away from someone and given to someone who is profiteering off of those. I do not know of any paid ROM sites at this point. My source on things is, you know, occasionally I won't say my actual source for it, but I do download some stuff from Vimslayer occasionally, and I use that as a source for some, you know, file size information and shit. Basically, yeah, you know, I'm not giving them money. Their stuff is free because they at least pose somewhat as an archivist project. So yeah, you bootleg a bootleg. Well, I think you're spending a little too much resources on that, I would say, Lears. As for what game is next, I don't actually know. Oh, were there actual paid ROM sites that were taken? I'm not surprised by that. Considering a lot of free ROM sites have been taken down for piracy, you know, like Emu Paradise and all that stuff. Vimslayer still hasn't been touched, which, you know, bless them very much, considering I'm surprised they're not more of a known deal, because they have fairly full English libraries for like 15 or something consoles hanging out on their website. And yeah, I have other sources too that are a little bit more difficult to deal with, to say the least. And Yeah, that's a bit of a discussion that probably I should not be getting into on stream, and definitely not in the part that I'm posting to YouTube. If I talk about it after I close the VOD recording, well, it'll just disappear whenever, in like 2 weeks or something, when Twitch is like, hey, yeah, we don't want to carry this anymore because it's eating up our bandwidth or whatever, because I'm too small of a streamer. I'm sorry, I'm not Caleb Hart. Maybe if I act like more of a douchebag, I'm not gonna... I'm not about to be a bigger asshole to get more numbers. Come on. If that's what it takes, then I'm happy having 0.8 average chatters. Back to the point. Next game, I do not know yet. I have not decided. I may end up just doing more open-ended stuff until the end of the year because like I said, I'm going to be taking a break at the beginning of January in order to like realign my schedule and all that other stuff, and I may be concerned about starting a new game, especially if it's a long one. Although I have a couple of smaller things I've given a little bit of consideration to. We'll see how it goes, and I will see all of you in the next stream either way. Well, hopefully you'll be able to see me because there won't be this buffering shit.